Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and turn on your post notifications because I post every Tuesday and Saturday. Even though I haven't been posting for the past few weeks, I'm finna start getting back into it. I didn't really know what this video was gonna be about, to be honest, because it has been so long and I just didn't even know where to start back up again because of the break that I took. But I thought I would just update you all on what I was doing in July and what my plans are for August. Without further ado, I'm Christine and this is Editorial Edge. I'm so excited to be filming again because these past 2 weeks have been super filled and I've been booked and busy, and that's partially because I've been branding and starting my own business. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, which you should, link down in the description, but I started my own business and it's a stationery business that also aims in creating stationery for donations to disadvantaged schools and classrooms. It's already launched, so if you want to check it out, I'll leave it in the description box below. But I'm really excited and really glad that people are also loving the collection and the designs. So just want to say thank you to everyone who has supported me or made a purchase or retweeted or shared my business on social media. I really appreciate it. But along with starting a business, there's been a lot of things behind the scenes in curating and thinking of new content to bring to this channel, and I'm just really excited to just sit down and film again because it's been way too long. But I'm so glad I've still been able to connect with you all, and thank you so much for now over 450 subscribers. It is so insane to me that even though I didn't post, people are still watching my videos. And because it is my brand book, my Crave video has now reached over 800 views, which is so crazy to me. So thank you all so much. I love the support and I hope to be making new and better videos for you all now that I'm back. But okay, it's really good to be back in my background and along with all my books as well. So if you haven't watched my July TBR, I'll link it up in the iCards. But I listed a bunch of books that I said I was gonna read, and just like I couldn't film, I didn't have time to read, but I still read some of them. I thought I would update you all on what I read and my review of it. So the first book for my July TBR that I read and finished in July was Monday's Not Coming by Tiffany Jackson. Everyone was telling me that this book was gonna give me all the feels. I was gonna cry, I was gonna be so emotional. But y'all, reading this book had me sick to my stomach. Like, I felt physically ill after reading this book. And not because I didn't like it. I love this book and I highly recommend it if you all are into thrillers, or even if you're not, it's just a great book to read. But literally had me sick. And I remember I hit the Brains of Books group chat and I was like, y'all need to pick it up because this literally had my stomach feeling queasy after reading this. I'm gonna speak on the plot or any of that because I just don't want to spoil it, and I really recommend y'all read this, but also just want to put a disclaimer and a trigger warning out there that this book does speak on, you know, violence and trauma and mental illness. So just be prepared if you're gonna pick up this book. But I rate this a 5 out of 5. It was a great read and I loved her writing, and the fact that this was one of my first thrillers that I really read, it really kept me on my toes and I could not put this down. Remember, I read this in about 2.5 hours and there's 400 pages in here. So that just attests to how much this was a great read in July. And I think I read this like in the beginning of July when I wasn't so busy. I was planning to do a review on this because I just loved it so much and I just loved, you know, talking about what is in this book. But leave a comment down below if you want to see a full review on Monday's Not Coming, because I think there's a lot to discuss and there's a lot of things that I want to say, but I don't know if y'all want me to spoil it or not, so leave it in the comments below. The book on my July TBR was Pride by Evie Zobe. I actually technically didn't read this in July because I started this 2 days ago on a Zoom call with our group chat, but I mean, I read it. I haven't seen a lot of people talk about this book in particular, but for those of you who haven't seen this book, it's a remix of Pride and Prejudice and follows the story of two black kids in Brooklyn and basically tells their love story as if it were in Pride and Prejudice. I actually really like this book. I'm not really into romance like that. If you are, hit my girl Jaleesa because she got the Rex. I don't. But I actually did really like this book. I didn't rate it a 5 out of 5, to be honest. It was a 4 out of 5 for me, but I think that's just because I don't really like romance, and like I was just expecting a bigger ending for this book, but I still loved it. It was a great story, and I just related. I didn't relate to it, but I like the commentary and the writing that Ibizobi has. Yeah, I'd recommend picking it up if you just want a short read, but it still makes a feel-good story despite, you know, there are serious controversial things that are being talked about, such as like gentrification and just racial politics. So I just think she weaved that in beautifully. So also recommend this book. Another book that I picked up and was in my July TBR but I haven't read is Songs of Rage and Ruin. I did a video talking about this book on my book outfits video. If you haven't checked that out, I'll link it up here. But I also love this cover and I haven't read it, but I've heard really good things about it, so I'm excited to read it. And it's, you know, a thick book, so those are my favorites. Another book in my July TBR that I picked up but I haven't read is Dreadnation. I also haven't heard a lot of things being talked about this book, but I'm really excited to read it, especially because it's horror, which is not a genre that I read basically at all. I'm really excited to read this actually, and it ties in beautifully because this month the Brains of Books group chat is actually doing a group buddy read of The Butterfly Garden, which is another horror book, and none of us except for Deja reads horror, so it'll be a fun experience. So stay tuned for our group vlog for that in the first week of September. I'm really excited for that, and I'm really excited to read The Butterfly Garden. And also stay tuned for Deja's readathon that's coming up. Y'all won't want to miss that. So I'll leave everyone's channels down below so y'all can check everyone's channels and videos out. But yeah, anyways, this is also on my August TBR because I did read in July. Here are the new books that I'm adding to my August TBR that I didn't have in my July TBR. I know everyone has mixed feelings. I have mixed feelings, but here it is. I forgot I pre-ordered Midnight Sun and it came to my doorstep one day and I was like, oh my god, I got this book. And the cover is just god-awful. I sincerely do not like this cover, and I have trypophobia and I don't know why, but this cover just irks my bones. But we're not gonna read it with the cover, okay? Started reading this book, and 5 pages in, I was already just not in the mood for Edward's thoughts. I just couldn't, y'all. So it's like a soft DNF right now, even though I only read 5 pages, and I know some people are gonna say that doesn't count, but for real, I just can't deal with Edward and his conflict of not trying to kill everybody. But I'm gonna read it, okay? I don't know if I'm gonna do a full review on it because I'm just conflicted on, you know, what the story represents. So I don't know if I want to really promote this book on my channel like that and dedicate an entire video to it, because I know people are, you know, really interested in knowing what this book is and picking it up. I just don't know if I want to promote that on my channel. But that is not to say that you shouldn't support people who are doing a video on this. Kristen from Books with Kristen G is actually doing a vlog for this. So if you all want an in-depth, you know, review and synopsis of this, go check out her channel, subscribe to her, and when that video comes out, watch it so that you can know if you'll like this book or not. Another book that I'm adding to my August TBR, I already technically started this, but it's Strange the Dreamer, and I'm really excited for this book. I started it, but I'm only a few pages in, but the Brains of Books group chat is also buddy reading this for August, so I'm just gonna wait till everyone starts and then restart this book. But you know, my girl Monet loves this book and she's been raving about it, and it's become her brand book, so I just had to pick it up. And I'm really interested because I mean, I love fantasy, and I think this is more high fantasy than I'm used to, so I'm just excited for, you know, a different kind of perspective and world that Lonnie Taylor brings. I was gonna say I have read Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Lonnie Taylor, but I actually didn't like this series. I liked the first book, but once it got into the second book, I didn't really enjoy it as much. And maybe that's because at the time I wasn't really into, you know, the fantasy or the world that Lonnie Taylor was kind of creating in this book. And the reason why I haven't, you know, continued reading Strange the Dreamer yet is also because of the buddy read, but because for books like this that are like much more high fantasy, or it's just a more complicated world for me to follow, I just need to be in the right headspace and have the right energy around me so I can fully devolve into the book. Because if I'm distracted or I'm thinking about other things, I just know I'm not going to enjoy the book. I mean, I guess that goes for any book that I read, but specifically when it's a much more complex world and there are a lot more things that I need to keep up with mentally, I just need to have a good space around me. So I'm just excited to start this and maybe revisit this because I want to, you know, like Lonnie Taylor. I like her writing much more in this. I can say that for a fact. So I don't know, maybe I'll restart this. Not this month though, sometime. I don't know. I also have Muse of Nightmares, so I plan on reading that after I finish this because I just love finishing series. So I guess I'll add that to the August TBR as well. I feel like with TBRs, I'm just like, I just add books constantly, and I know more books are gonna come out, and I know I'm gonna want to read them. So I'm a pretty fast reader, so I know for the month of August I'll dedicate time to read this, but I also just want to keep in mind that school starts for me again this month. So if you're new to my channel, I'm going into my senior year at Cal. You know, I rep my school so hard. But yeah, it's my senior year and there's a lot going on for me. So even though I'm going to say I'm going to read all this, just, you know, keep in mind, your girl has a life outside of booktube. But yeah, I think that's all for my August TBR/July wrap up, to be honest, because that's enough books for me, and I think 5 is a realistic goal for me. I said that last month, but you know, life happens, y'all. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you all read a lot of books in July. If you didn't, that's fine. You can be in the same boat as me because I didn't read nothing. And I just hope that everyone has an amazing August and that we are filled with an abundance of amazing books to add to our list and to our minds and to our energy. I'm just overjoyed and really glad that I got back into filming because I have missed you all so much. I literally have been trying to film, but I cannot find the time because creating your business on your own is a lot of work, and a lot of it is just teaching myself a lot of new things that I did not know before. So it was just a lot, but now I'm so glad that we launched. I'm so glad that we have orders, and later today after I edit this, I'll be packaging a lot of the orders. But as you all can tell, because of starting the business, I haven't been able to film and I haven't been able to write. It made me so sad. I wanted to write so badly, but I know just prioritizing my business at that time was what I wanted to do. And so I unfortunately lost Camp NaNoWriMo, my first one, but that's okay. That's my first Camp NaNoWriMo experience, and in November NaNoWriMo is going to come up, so I'm preparing for that. So I'm really excited on that. I left off writing my Camp NaNoWriMo book at like 25,000 words, I think. So I'm actually just going to be building off that because I want to see where it goes, or I might change it. I don't know. I'll give you all an update. I don't know what else to say. Oh, if you haven't entered my book giveaway, that is still happening until August 15th, so you have a few days to still enter. I'll link it up here for you to enter and click on the video, but that's still going on. I'm still doing the giveaway, and I'll be announcing the winners on the 15th, so don't forget to join and share so others can join as well. I'll be awarding 5 winners, so there's a big chance for you all to win. Okay, I think that's enough of me talking. Thank you so much for joining me and for coming back to my channel after my hiatus again. I'm really relieved to be getting back into the flow of things and really excited for what this channel has in store for you all and how we can grow together and just be able to connect over the books and stories that we all hold in our heads, in our hearts, and in our hands. So don't forget to like, share, and comment while you're down there. And until next time, bye y'all.